The day after my C-section, I lay in a hospital bed, barely able to move. My husband's mother walked in and said, "You're not holding her right. She looks uncomfortable." Then she turned to my husband and whispered, loud enough for me to hear, "This baby's too small. Maybe it's not even yours." He just smirked and said, "She does look kind of off." I sat there numb. The next day, they took the baby to her house without telling me. I called 17 times. No one answered. 2 weeks later, I found out she'd posted photos captioned, "My miracle grandchild, raised right." My name is Laura, and I never thought I'd be the kind of woman to plan revenge. I used to think people who talked about revenge were just bitter. But bitterness has a way of showing up when people treat you like trash and smile while doing it. This isn't just about what they did to me, it's about what they did to my daughter. It started the day after my C-section. I was still in the hospital in Fort Smith, Arkansas. My stomach felt like it had been set on fire. The nurses told me not to get out of bed unless I had help. I couldn't even laugh or cough without pain shooting through my whole body. But I had my baby girl in my arms. She was everything to me. I named her Ava. I was staring at her tiny face, half asleep, when my husband's mother, Margaret, stormed in. No knock. No hello. Just walked in like it was her house. I didn't even have a bra on under my gown. I felt exposed, weak, humiliated. She walked straight over to the bed, looked down at Ava in my arms, and wrinkled her nose. "You're not holding her right," she said. "She looks uncomfortable." I blinked. My arms tightened a little, even though every movement hurt. I looked at Tom, my husband, who was sitting in the chair by the window. He didn't say anything, just kept scrolling on his phone. Then Margaret leaned a little closer to him, like she was whispering, but said it loud enough that I couldn't miss it. "This baby's too small. Maybe she's not even yours." I waited for Tom to say something. To defend me. To shut her down. Instead, he smirked. Didn't even look up from his phone. "She does look kind of off," he said, like he was agreeing with her. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. My mouth was dry, my throat closed up. I just looked down at Ava and pretended I didn't hear it. But I heard it. Every single word. The next morning, I woke up and my arms were empty. At first, I thought maybe she was in the bassinet. But it was empty too. I pressed the call button like crazy until a nurse came in. "Where's my baby?" I asked, panicked. She looked surprised. "Your husband came early this morning and said he was taking her home to let you get some rest." I sat there in shock. No one told me. No one asked me. I called Tom immediately. No answer. I called again. And again. 17 times, all day, every hour. Nothing. When it was time for me to be discharged, I asked the nurse if he was coming to pick me up. She said he hadn't answered her either. I ended up using the Uber app on my phone. Sitting in the back seat, every bump felt like a knife in my gut. When I got home, the house was quiet. His car was gone. So I called again. Then I tried Margaret's number. Voicemail. I sat on the couch for hours. My body hurt. My breasts were full and leaking. I didn't even know if Ava had been fed. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. 2 days later, I finally saw something that made my heart fall into my stomach. Margaret had posted a photo on Facebook. It was Ava, dressed in some ugly pink frilly outfit I'd never seen before. She was lying on a fuzzy blanket with a big pink bow stuck on her head. The caption said, "My miracle grandchild, raised right." No mention of me. Not even a tag. Just like I didn't exist. I stared at that photo for a long time. I kept rereading the caption "raised right" like it might suddenly make sense if I saw it enough times. But it didn't. She was acting like Ava was hers. Like I was just some girl who'd been in the way. I posted a comment. "Where is she? Why haven't you answered my calls?" It got deleted. I messaged Tom again. Nothing. The next morning, I went to Margaret's house. I drove myself even though I shouldn't have. My stitches were pulling with every turn. I knocked. Then I pounded. No one answered. But I knew they were in there. The curtains moved upstairs. I saw the corner shift. Then the porch light turned off. Like that would make me go away. I called the cops. I was done playing nice. But when they showed up, they told me Margaret had legal permission. Tom had filled out temporary custody papers at the hospital, claiming I was recovering poorly and unable to care for the child. Said it was a safety measure. They showed me the paperwork. It was signed. His signature. Not mine. I lost it. Right there on the lawn. They told me to go home and sort it out with family court. So I did. I filed everything. Emergency custody petition. Restraining orders. But it took time. Weeks. And during those weeks, I was left alone with nothing but silence and a half-empty nursery. Then I started looking closer at Margaret's Facebook. That's when I saw the pattern. She was posting Ava constantly. Photos every day. But no mention of me. Instead, she talked about how hard her journey to motherhood again had been. How God had finally answered her prayers. Motherhood? She was telling people Ava was hers. Not just her grandchild, her daughter. She told people I was a troubled teen who left the baby at the hospital. Said she had stepped up. It was disgusting. I started collecting every post. Screenshot after screenshot. I created a private email and sent everything to myself. I even set up a fake Facebook account to follow her without being blocked. Then I found the real twist. She had created a GoFundMe. The title? Help a single grandmother raise her miracle baby. She had raised over $6,000. And I saw comments from women in her church, neighbors, even strangers. All telling her how brave she was. How selfish the mother was for abandoning her. I wasn't just erased. I was rewritten. Like I never existed at all. That's when the rage changed. It wasn't just pain anymore. It was something sharper. More focused. I wasn't going to beg anymore. I wasn't going to scream on her porch. I was going to get smart. I was going to get even. So I waited. I started playing dumb. I stopped calling. Stopped posting. Stopped showing up at the house. I wanted them to think I gave up. Meanwhile, I was building something they couldn't see coming. I got a new lawyer. A real one. Not the cheap one I found at first. This one had handled custody cases like mine. She told me to stop reacting and start collecting. So I did. I took everything I found on Margaret's Facebook and GoFundMe and put it in folders. Not just screenshots, videos, links, even PDFs. I tracked the donations. Some of them were big. She had even posted a picture holding Ava in front of her church's sign with the caption, "God's gift to me after years of pain." But the biggest twist came when I dug into her past. I searched her name online late one night and found something buried in an old local news archive, a story from 1998. It mentioned Margaret briefly, how her parental rights had been terminated after some domestic instability. The article wasn't about her directly, but it named her. It had to be her. Same last name. Same town. Same middle initial. She had already lost custody of her own kids once. And now she was out here pretending she was the savior of mine? I gave the file to my lawyer. She raised her eyebrows and said, "We're going to use this." Then I did something I'd been avoiding. I confronted Tom. I waited outside his job at the auto parts store. He looked surprised when he saw me. Maybe he thought I'd just disappeared for good. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "You signed custody papers behind my back. You know that's illegal, right?" He shrugged like it was no big deal. "You were out of it. Margaret said it was just temporary. Did you even read them?" He didn't answer. I took a breath. "You're going to regret this. I have proof. Everything. The fake posts, the fundraiser, the custody lie. You want to be on our side? Fine. But I'm not playing fair anymore." He tried to laugh, but I saw the way his hands twitched. That same night, I got a call from his sister Jenny. We hadn't spoken in months, but she whispered into the phone like someone was listening. I saw the fundraiser. She's lying to everyone. I didn't know she took Ava without your consent. That's messed up, Laura. You want me to testify, I will. I almost cried. And then came the moment I'd been waiting for. My lawyer filed an emergency motion. She included the GoFundMe fraud, the social media lies, Margaret's history, and Jenny's sworn statement. She didn't just go for custody, she went for full parental rights and a restraining order. We served Tom at his job. We served Margaret at her church. I still remember the look on her face when she realized she wasn't untouchable anymore. Court was set for 9 a.m. on a Monday. I hadn't slept the night before. My stomach twisted like I was about to throw up. I kept staring at the baby monitor app one had saved from the hospital, the one that never turned on because Ava had never been brought home. Margaret showed up in a full white suit like she was going to church. Tom looked like he didn't even care. Wrinkled shirt, no tie, chewing gum in front of the judge. But I was ready. My lawyer laid everything out. The fundraiser, the fake Facebook captions, Margaret's old case from '98. Jenny's testimony sealed it all. She told the judge that I'd never abandoned my child. That Margaret took her behind my back and told everyone I was unstable when I wasn't. Margaret tried to cry. She said I was unfit, that I didn't know how to be a mother, that Ava had bonded with her now and separating them would be cruel. The judge didn't buy it. He didn't even take long to decide. Full custody to the mother, Laura Adams. All visitations by Margaret Carter are suspended indefinitely. Mr. Thomas Adams is placed on monitored visitation pending psychological evaluation. Margaret stood up and shouted in court. She screamed, "That baby was meant for me. She was mine. I saved her from that girl." The bailiff had to escort her out. But it wasn't over. A week later, the police knocked on her door. Fraud. For the GoFundMe. She had claimed to be the mother, submitted fake documents, used the money for spa trips and clothes. Some donors wanted their money back. The site banned her. She was facing criminal charges. Tom tried to call me after that. Left a message. I didn't know it'd go this far. I didn't respond. He made his choice. He let his mother steal our child and said nothing. I picked up Ava from the emergency care center the next day. She was wearing a scratchy church dress with someone else's name tag on the inside collar. I changed her in the car. I held her close the whole ride home. That night, I rocked her in the nursery I'd finally finished. She looked up at me with those quiet, blinking eyes, and for the first time in weeks, I felt whole. But revenge? It didn't end in court. 6 months later, I mailed a copy of every document. Every post, every fraud report, every lie, to Margaret's church, her HOA, her workplace, and her Facebook friends. I let them all see the truth. Margaret lost her part-time job at the daycare center. She was kicked out of her church group. Her support circle vanished. As for Tom, he faded, missed too many supervised visits, moved out of town. His sister said he was working at a tire shop in Oklahoma. Last I heard, he told people Ava was some mistake his ex made. I don't care. I raised Ava myself. I taught her how to walk, how to talk. I was there for every moment Margaret tried to steal. And every time I see Ava smile, I remember what Margaret said. That baby was meant for me. No, she never was. She was always mine.